let's talk names since everybody else is scared to. Joel Osteen preaching prosperity while locking the doors during a hurricane. Creflo Dollar asking for millions for a jet, then calling it miscommunication. And people push back. TD Jakes building an empire that looks more like a corporation, if you ask me, than a church, anyway. And then you got the old school televangelist playbook. Jimmy Baker, Tammy Faye, Erica Kirk. Mascara running down, tears flowing, donation numbers flashing on the screen like it's QVC. Same formula, different decade. Here's my real issue, though. Where is the infrastructure? Where are the schools? Where are the community centers? Where are the trade programs? Where are the diaper drives, the housing initiatives, the mental health resources? You can't tell people to empty their bank accounts when you haven't even emptied anything back into the community. And don't get it twisted. There are churches that are doing the work out there, but they're usually the quiet ones. The ones not flexing designer suits on Instagram. That's why the Drewski skit went viral. It hit because comedy exposes truth faster than sermons ever will. People aren't leaving the church because they don't believe in God. They're leaving because they're tired of feeling like God needs their debit card number every Sunday. Faith shouldn't feel like a subscription service. And the salvation shouldn't come with a suggested donation tier either. That's not ministry. That's a business model. If that makes people feel uncomfortable, good. Because maybe it's time we start asking where the money's going instead of just passing the plate again. I can tell whether I'm going to give a movie a real chance in the first 2 minutes. And it has nothing to do with the trailer. It's the intro. If your movie starts with a 3-minute song montage, names flying across the screen like it's a 70s TV show, I'm already out mentally. I don't care who's in it. I don't care who produced it. I don't care how much money you spent. After the production logo, the movie should start, period. You can flash a few names real quick, starring, co-starring, cool. But if I'm sitting there watching a full-blown music video before the story even begins, I already feel manipulated. That tells me the movie itself didn't feel strong enough, so somebody padded the runtime. Studio notes, focus groups, let's make it feel bigger. Nah, that's television behavior. That's Rockford Files energy. That's, we need another 3 minutes energy. And here's the thing, it's a gauge. It's a red flag to me because great movies don't need warm-ups. They don't need to ease you in. They drop you straight in the middle of a world and say, keep up. Now, I'm watching this new Black Phone 2. I was excited for this one because I liked Black Phone 1. And then the intro just kept going and going and going. For a second, I thought I hit the wrong button. Like I accidentally clicked on a recap special or some prestige TV nonsense. I almost checked out right there. I think I'm still going to watch it. I'm going to finish it because I know it's probably going to get wild. But make no mistake, that intro already lost you points, Black Phone 2. So, yeah, that's my metric. If your movie doesn't start when it's supposed to start, I already don't trust it. And 9 times out of 10, that instinct is right. High heels were never about sex at first or being sexy. They were about power and posture and status. Heels started with men, whether you know that or not. Soldiers, aristocrats, they wore them to stand taller, command presence, and lock in the stirrups. Height meant authority back then. That part it still does, right? That part gets erased from the story, though. Over time, heels moved into women, and the meaning shifted. What was once about dominance became about display. The posture changed. The walk changed. The silhouette changed, and culture followed. Now, here's the part everybody pretends not to notice. Feet matter. Visually, aesthetically, symbolically, there is a massive foot-focused economy online, not a fringe, not a joke, a real organized global market. Women are paying rent off photos of their feet, videos, movement, texture, precision, craft. And before anybody gets uncomfortable, relax. This isn't about shame. It's about demand. Some people like faces. Some people like hands. Some people like voices. Some people like feet. That's not new. What's new is the platforms. You'll see creators sculpting clay with their feet, painting, washing dishes, slow, deliberate movement. It's not even sexual for everyone watching. For a lot of people, it's control, focus, artistry, ritual. Feet sit at a weird intersection. They're intimate, but they're not explicit. Hidden, but expressive. Functional, yet fetishized. And heels amplify all of it. They frame the foot in a way a suit frames a body. They tell a story before a word is spoken. So when people laugh it off or act surprised, they're lying. This has always been here. Culture just finally put a price tag on it. And whether you understand it or not, you're definitely living in an era where everything aesthetic can be monetized, including the part we were told not to talk about. All right, let's talk tips. You know, I usually tip 15 to 20%. It's a 15% minimum. depending on my vibe, the mood, my budget, if I'm sitting down at a table or if I'm at a bar just having dinner, it's usually 15% minimal, sometimes 20%. I learned something when I was working in New York a long time ago. I was bartending on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and the stockbrokers that used to come in there, my regulars would always tell me, look, just double the tax. As long as you double the tax, you'll be good. It's not a bad tip. It's not a great tip. It's a good tip. Double the tax. And you'll be over 15% there. That'll keep you safe. That's a good rule of thumb. Now, I've been tipped crazy amounts of money before. I'm talking somebody tipped me $1,700 on a $1,700 bill one time. So keep the change. That's real generosity, right? But most of the time for the norm, if you're getting a 10% tip from me or something like that, then you probably messed up. You forgot stuff. My food came out cold. I think you was outside smoking weed in the back while my food was in the window. You know, I know what I'm talking about. I done worked in a restaurant or two. And all around the whole house. So, and I'm not kidding. The only way I'd ever stiff a server is if they did something outright nasty. Like I heard them call me the N-word in the back when I was going to the restroom or something crazy like that. I got at table 8, you know? So yeah, that's my tipping philosophy. Double the tax if you want to play it safe and treat people right. But I understand the confusion and frustration, should I say, of customers who are relied on to pay waiters and bartenders and people in the service industries salaries. You know, I think at some point a restaurant is going to have to profit share at least 1% of their gross revenue and distribute it amongst the servers, because paying below minimum wage, I mean, you're basically a slave working off of tips. And there's some places that's strictly off of tips. Dancers don't get no hourly rate, you know? I think at the strip club, they used to pay me like $50 a shift to bartend, $75 a shift to DJ. And I think cooking in the kitchen was something like $15 an hour. I've done it all in there, but and all over the place too. That's just, you know, restaurants as well, but and 5-star restaurants as well. But eventually, I think the restaurant industry is going to have to pick up the slack, because because the tipping is getting out of hand. You know, you're getting tipped for nothing, doing nothing. Just put us a tip in. Might not even talk to you. You want to put a tip in before you walk out the door? It's crazy work. They panhandling. The restaurants are panhandling. And don't get it. And then the servers got to get taxed on that stuff. You know, especially if the tip is on a credit card. I try to tip in cash. Even if I pay with a credit card, I try to tip my waiter in cash. And they should appreciate that. If you do that, maybe you don't have to tip as much. You know what I'm saying? If you're paying in a credit card, you should still leave 15% though, y'all. That's all I got to say. That's it. Look, this conversation always turns into emotions, but it's really about leverage. Okay, let's talk Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, black quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts had locks. He had long hair all the way through college. When he got to the league, he cut it. After that, Super Bowl, magazine cover, corporate-friendly image. That's not because hair makes you better or worse. It's because nothing about his appearance distracted from his excellence. And that's the part people do not want to talk about. Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, elite, smart, well-spoken, marketable, but society still does what society does. You can ignore that, or you can stop acting surprised by it. Jay-Z is always the example people bring up. But notice something. He had a low cut until he was already a billionaire. That's not rebellion. That's insulation. Most people try to start where Jay-Z finished and then act shocked when the world respects it differently. This isn't about telling anyone what to do, of course. It's about understanding the rules before you decide whether you want to break them. You can choose self-expression. Just do not demand institutional rewards on your own terms, because institutions have never worked that way. And they are not about to start now.